Hello and welcome to the Dragon Den. I'm KingofDragons 5000 and today I have another action figure review. Today I'll be taking a look at the Jada Toys Flamin Hot Chester Cheetah. As we get Chester Cheetah out of the packaging, it's very apparent that this is the exact same sculpt of the regular version. However, one thing to notice is that he is made of a translucent reddish-orange plastic. Chester Cheetah does come with two different head sculpts, as well as two pairs of hands, his bag of Flamin Hot Cheetos, and a Flamin Hot Cheeto. As we take a closer look at the Flamin Hot Chester Cheetah, he's using the exact same sculpt of the standard version. However, rather being cast in orange plastic, he's cast in translucent glow-in-the-dark red-orange plastic. The head sculpt on Chester Cheetah is accurate to his character model and it looks fantastic. His nose still has some impressive texturing and I like the paintwork here on his snout. The yellow paint does a good job contrasting the white paint and you can even see the ports where his whiskers are plugged in. He is going to be wearing his signature sunglasses which are painted in black and I like the tufts of hair coming off the back of his head painted in white. As we move on to his torso, you can see he still has that white patch on his belly which is painted very nicely. Around his body you can see his black spots which are actually painted very well. There are some scrapes on mine, but for the most part all the spots are going to be painted wonderfully. His cartoonishly tubular arms are accurate to the source material and I like the fact that he has tufts of hair coming out of his elbow. The spots are once again painted very well and we go on to his oversized hands where he has some impressive detailing. The inside of his paws are going to be painted in white paint and the spots on the back of his hands also look really good. And on his right hand you can see at the tips of his fingers he does have Flamin Hot Cheeto dust. Just like with his arms, his legs are going to be very tubular and I like the paint work here on the spots. For the most part they are all done very well and we go down to his sneakers which are cast in this white plastic. His white sneakers are done very well and the detailing on them is done spectacularly. He does have orange laces on the top of his shoe which are painted very cleanly and I like the orange spots on the side. And there is going to be some sculpt work on the bottom of his shoe along with some orange paint. And finally he is going to have a tubular tail which is thin at the base and it gets more bulbous at the tip of his tail. Once again we have those impressive spots going all the way to the black tip of his tail. Overall, they did a really good job with the paintwork here on Chester Cheetah, however it is quite apparent that he is missing some shading. And the paint does feel a little bit caked on in some places to compensate for the glow-in-the-dark plastic. But he's still an impressive figure to look at and Jada Toys has done a great job with him. With the paint and details out of the way, let's compare Chester Cheetah to our usual suspects. Jada Toys has opted to make Chester Cheetah a 1/12 scale figure, meaning he's gonna fit in nicely with domestic toy lines. And even comparing him to true 1/12 scale, he still fits in nicely. Even pairing him up with the original Jada Toys figure, he still looks quite nice. Chester Cheetah does have a double ball joint in the head and a ball joint in the neck. Arms hinge out to the side and do a full 360. He will have a hinge and swivel at his elbow, a standard hinge and swivel at his wrist. Chester Cheetah does have a ball joint in his waist. His legs will kick forward, go back, out to the side, and have a thigh swivel. He has a hinge and swivel at his knee. We have a swivel at his sneaker, a hinge in the ankle, and forward-facing pin for rocker ankle. And finally, he does have a hinge and swivel at the base of his tail. I really did love the original Chester Cheetah that Jada Toys has made, and having the Flamin Hot edition, I have to say, he's still a very fun action figure. One thing to point out is that this version of Chester Cheetah does feel like the plastic is made of better quality, and I have no issues with any of his joints. The only difficult part I'm having with this figure is swapping out the heads, but other than that, everything moves smoothly and there's really no issues with quality. Now he will come with the exact same accessories, with the only difference being the bag of Cheetos was replaced for a bag of Flamin Hot Cheetos. And the Cheetos Club has been turned into a Flamin Hot Cheetos Club. As far as the paint on this figure goes, it does feel a little bit pasty on some parts, and like I stated, that's to compensate for the glow-in-the-dark plastic. And one thing that this figure obviously lacks is some shading throughout the plastic, as you don't want to hinder the glow-in-the-dark feature. I will do my best to put up some pictures of the glow-in-the-dark feature for Chester Cheetah, but it does look really good in the right conditions. Chester Cheetah was one of my favorite figures that Jada Toys released last year, and getting a Flaming Hot version, I'm still impressed by what they did here. You can never go wrong with Chester Cheetah, as it's a very cool character and he has some very nice shelf presence. Originally slated as an Entertainment Earth exclusive, this figure made its way to Big Bad Toy Store, where I did pick him up for about $30. He is slightly more expensive than that original Chester Cheetah, but that is due to the glow-in-the-dark plastic being a little more expensive to produce. If you're a fan of Chester Cheetah, Cheetos, or just want a very stylish action figure in your collection, definitely try to track down the Jada Toys Flaming Hot Chester Cheetah. And thank you for watching another video here on the Dragon Den. But before you go, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and check out the rest of my Jada Toys action figure collection. If you're in a position to help out the Dragon Den, check out my Patreon, where I have some exclusive content and early access videos. Check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, videos, recent pickups, latest prints, and as always, ring that bell so you never miss another video. And until next time, my loyal Dragonites coming from the Dragon Den, I'm King of Dragons 5000, reminding you to redesign, rebuild, and reclaim. I'll see you next time.